Welcome back to the 76ers Insiders podcast, joined today by head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers in his second year, Nick Nurse, Matt Murphy. I'm Lauren Rosen. The two of you were recently in Carroll, Iowa together. How was it?
Coach has never been before.
Yeah, I love it. It's my hometown, Carroll, Iowa. Matt, go ahead. How did you like my hometown?
It was my first time there. Carroll National Golf, best greens around. Best greens in the Midwest, not sucking up at all right now. I also had the chance to see the first show from the Icons band, which features Nick Nurse, and they end every set with Here Come the Sixers, so you were doing your thing up there.
Yep.
What was the postmortem on the Icons and the first concert?
It was good. It was, I think it turned out okay. I mean, it was our first time together. A couple of the members had never even jammed with us before. There was kind of a cross-section of a few guys I jammed with in Toronto, a few guys I started jamming with in Philly, and then a couple all-stars thrown in there from other big performers or big bands. I don't know, about 11 of us up there on stage, but it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I'm blown away at how talented these people are. Like, it shocks me that they can say, hey, let's try this song, and everybody goes, I think I know that one, and then 1, 2, 3, boom, and it sounds amazing. It just blows me away.
Don't sell yourself short. You were part of it. You also have that skill.
Yeah, no, not on their level at all. I try to fit in where I can and bang out a few chords and things on the keys and stuff like that, but I like jamming. Right, I like jamming probably better than I do performing. I like when we get together and just jam at my house or jam at somebody else's house, and that can go on for hours. And I could probably do that for a lot of hours in a day. Yeah.
Or more recently with Matt Quinn and Mount Joy in the Philadelphia area as well.
Yeah, that was really something. That
made the rounds again.
That was really something.
Why?
Well, it was the real deal. Right, like the real deal. Usually, I've done a couple other of fairly good sized crowds. One, obviously, the first one I ever did was with the Arkells. I think there was about 17,000 fans at that. That was the first time. Did one with the New Power Generation Toronto Jazz Fest. Was probably 5,000. But usually, those two, I was on guitar. I was just kind of hiding back there by the drummer and playing a little bit and just taking it all in. But this one was the piano that they had was sitting right there, and the crowd was right there, and 12,000 people, and it was awesome. I say this, I'll say it again, is that take me to a Game 7 in the NBA playoffs versus doing that. I was really nervous. Again, way out of my normal element for sure. But it was cool. It always helps to go in the afternoon. You do a little sound check, that's all like bizarre and foreign feeling to me, putting earplugs in. I'm not used to that, so you can hear, they're like, Coach, would you like to hear the drummer better? I'd say, yeah, give me some more drum, like I know what I'm talking about, right? And can turn down this and whatever. But yeah, there it was.
You mentioned being more comfortable in a Game 7 than you would be playing on stage in a concert. Why is it important to you to get out of your comfort zone like that?
Well, that's one thing that is part of it for me. Like I didn't battle it nearly as much with Mount Joy the other night as I did with the Arkells. I really was like side stage and really had never done it before, and it was rock. I mean, the place was going bananas, and I was just like, I'm going home, man. I can
Where
walk.
was it?
It was in Toronto at the Bud stage, which is an outdoor, kind of a lot like the Man, outdoor. It's on the lake there in Toronto, and I didn't live that far away, and there was 6 or 7 times during the show that I was like, I think I'm just going to slide out and go back home, and But kind of kept saying that to answer your question. I kind of kept saying that to myself, man, do you got enough guts to get out there and do it? Like I'm really honestly really nervous and trying to push through and go out there and do it. I don't know why that's important, but I think it at least is part of the kind of internal battle of, I don't know, if you want to do cool stuff, sometimes you got to take a leap, right?
That was in the news. So was Joel Embiid's contract extension right down here on the court at the Penn Medicine Philadelphia 76ers training complex. How did it feel for the organization to, first of all, get that done, but then to see him celebrating with his family and had Arthur shooting hoops and all that?
Well, it was great. And I think, I don't know how much you guys have talked about it or it's been said, but you know, in the first couple months of my tenure, 3-4 months of my tenure after getting hired, the Joel gonna request a trade or gonna do whatever, not be here or whatever was a kind of a thing that certain media outlets were really trying to make a story, right? That if they don't get it together, he's gonna be out of there type of thing. And so I think it's really nice to kind of have that be gone and this be here, and he's going to be here and he wants to be here, and give a lot of people a lot of credit for that. And like one of the people I give a lot of credit for is Tyrese, right? Like being such a good teammate, taking such a big step forward, becoming a star player. Like Joel wants to win, and Joel knows he needs capable stars with him. And I think Tyrese's total makeup is a big thing of that. And again, ownership, obviously. Got to give them a lot of credit. You know, all of us, all the rest of us, kind of worked and did our jobs. You know, but it's great. That for me is almost the most important thing that we've got Big Joel locked up for years to come.
Yeah, years to come for him, but also for Tyrese and for Paul George. But you brought up the Tyrese-Joel relationship, and for some reason, when iconic NBA duos are discussed, perhaps on national programs, they're usually left out, perhaps because of Tyrese's youth. He's a first-time All-Star. But what have you observed about their relationship that you might not have seen yet and that the national audience might be missing at this point?
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is about, first of all, about what Tyrese and they leave him out of this stuff. I mean, you know me. When
they leave him out of a lot of stuff.
100% they do.
For sure.
And it's like nobody still believes that he's like this good, or is he ever going to be? Like, he's really, 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 really good. Like, you know, and he's not even, like, done being really good.
He's at the All-Star game.
A couple more realies on there. Or for him to keep going.
No, but he gets left off a lot of lists.
He does.
Right? Yeah.
He does. What was your question again?
What did you observe about the relationship that Joel and Tyrese share?
I think Joel did a good job of understanding, like, you know, once other pieces had left and Tyrese had this ability to bring him along, to kind of get to him and say, hey, let's work together, let's do this, let's, like, you know, almost like I believe in you, Tyrese. I also need you, Tyrese. We need each other, you know. So I think Joel, being the older guy of the group, more experienced guy, did a great job in bringing him forward. And you're like anything, I think they start working together. It's fun to play with. To you know, the way they're playing together is fun for them. They pushing each other a little bit. They see Joel sees Tyrese's growth and knows there's more there to go. So I think all that's a factor.
Another Joel question, just because the last time we spoke with you was at Summer League before the Olympics. He gets the gold medal with Team USA, the dominant close to the game against Serbia to help them along. What did you think about Joel at the Olympics?
Yeah, I thought it was, I don't know, looking back, I think it kind of summarizes what I've experienced. I've never won a gold medal, right, or whatever. But when I've had championship teams, what they experience is a lot of ups and downs. And the Olympics is kind of a short little window, but it still happens. And I think he went through some of that, right? He didn't play that many minutes. He was left out of a game. You know, there was concerns going, you know, but then boom, he has a big, huge moment, and they couldn't have won it without him, right? He delivers in the game almost that they brought him for, or they needed him for, or whatever, and then he ends up coming out, you know, on the other end with the gold medal. So I think in a short little window, it's a synopsis of being able to handle up and downs, even some really, you know, deep down, you know, depths of being down and wondering what's going to happen, and then coming out the other side and being able to celebrate with your teammates and your family and having that forever as part of your legacy and something really cool, man. He's got a gold medal.
A year ago when you got here, you talked about wanting to set a culture of expecting to win, of focusing on April, May, and June in year one. When you reflect on year one and look ahead to year two, what are you proudest of in this first year, and where's your focus shifting as you're a second-year coach in this market?
Listen, I thought without like digging in too deep, I thought we played really hard. Thought we gave great effort last year. So I always want that. I think, I've said this to you before, but I'll say it again. When people are walking up the stairs after the game, they should be elbowing each other, saying, "Man, did they play hard?" And I don't even know what the score ends up, but that's like the first thing I want them to be able to notice, that the team fights, the team never quits, the team will come back when things are going bad, the team will bounce back after tough losses, and just give a tremendous effort. So now I think we did that on a decent basis. Got a whole new roster here, so we're gonna have to, kind of get back to building that culture, and it's all about, just demanding that they do things well, that they practice hard, they practice with pace, they practice with focus, and when they don't, we let them know and we correct it, and we just try to keep pushing, that energy and focus and learning to win and setting up drills to win. All that's little things that our coaches are so good at doing to build that culture is still super important. And I think back to the April, May, and June is a little bit weird last year because of the huge injury to Joel midway through, and then we had a lot of guys out in stretches too. So we were really playing, let's do the best we can do right now and keep figuring things out, and let's try to scratch, you heard me, scratch out a win any way we can and get to the next game and then figure the game plan out for that one. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more of a building, a little bit better health. I think we will. We're deeper. But, yeah, we're going to try to play our best basketball in April, May, and June for sure.
When you reflect on that first season, are there any nights that stand out to you memory-wise of particularly good fights where you felt like people really walked out and said, dang, those guys went for it?
Well, I thought the playoffs,
Sure.
First of all, even though we came out on the wrong end of it, those were
Fights.
Yeah. Against the team that's, kind of what they're going to hang their hat on, right? And I would say we fought just as hard as they did, or close to it. And again, like, we were not very healthy to be doing it, right? I'm not making any excuses, but even for Joel, he was a long ways away from, being where he could be or where he wished to be in that series. And I thought he fought through a lot of stuff too. Other than that, there was some other cool games. I thought the game at San Antonio, the double overtime win, I think you guys can correct me. I think both Joel was out for sure, but Tyrese and Ricky Council came in, Jeff
Fantastic,
Doughton,
yeah.
all these, guys.
I was hoping you would say that
yeah,
one. That was the one I
a
thought
super
of.
fun game. I thought they were playing at a really high level, and that was a good one. I don't know. I'm not really that great at remembering past games, though.
That's not true, but we'll let you out of it. We'll let you out of this one.
It's true. I'm not.
Well, he might need to use his memory about very early on in his career towards the end here, but maybe we'll let him off the hook.
Oh, good.
Training camp in the Bahamas this year, and then a series of away games throughout the preseason. As you look at that slate, what can you accomplish reasonably with a group that's this new? What do you hope to get out of that week away together and then these preseason games?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, super exciting. It's really the first chance you get to get the whole crew together for real. Like we do the stuff and got a lot of our guys in September, but there's always guys here and there, 2 or 3 out here and there doing something, getting visas or passports or whatever they're doing,
Sure.
Moving, whatever. So it's the first shot to get everybody together, and you're really just trying to get, again, that tone set of how we're going to play. Usually starts defensively. You put a huge emphasis on the defensive side of the ball just to make sure that all those little foundational pillars that we like to live by, they understand them, and they understand how we're going to do them, and then what the plan is behind them and all that stuff, and then start building from there. We'll certainly work on probably a little bit more advanced in the offense because I'm so much more used to Joel and Tyrese. I know where I kind of got to start with those guys rather than figuring it out as I go a little bit. So I think we'll get ahead with those guys in the preseason, mostly just making reads, and then we got to figure out where the other guys fit around them. Yeah.
I think we should go into the time machine
Let's
real
try
quick.
it. Let's try it. And
Just
if it,
because it sort of fits in with the theme of the beginning of our conversation, playing these shows and the nerves you feel coaching and playing and all that. I know in your career in the D League, you talked about what the feelings of nervousness that you sometimes felt before even those games. And when you became an NBA head coach, October 2018, what do you remember about your first opening game of the NBA regular season as the head coach in Toronto?
Hardly anything. Yeah, hardly anything. I do remember, I don't know how I can answer this question. I mean, obviously, I felt like we had a really good team and we were ready to go. And I do know that the 48 minutes that, like, you got to ride these waves of a game. And, you don't want to win your first game as a head coach in the NBA, right? You want to win your season opener. You know, they're both coming kind of at the same time. And
you did win.
Yeah, we did. I just remember that it was about like an NBA game is, you know, like it was difficult, right? It was, we looked good, we looked bad, we looked good, we looked bad, and then we, started playing really good towards the end and kind of got away with the win. And I don't know, I guess, again, my first game in the NBA, but I was in the thousandth of games I've coached, so not all that much different than getting ready for anything else. I do remember, like, my first time as an assistant, though, like walking in and kind of looking up, Toronto's arena's like pretty tall, and like I was just like, this is just like unbelievable that like this is what we're playing in tonight. I do remember that, but I'm used to that stuff now too.
Starting lineups might be too specific from the Cleveland-Toronto game in 2018, but do you remember?
No, I can give it a shot.
Try it.
I want to say Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard. This is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to say Serge Ibaka and Jonas Valanciunas, or was it Pascal?
It was Pascal and Valanciunas. Do you remember among
pretty
those
good.
five who had a really, really great game and who may happen to play for you in Philadelphia now?
Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry, 27 points, 8 assists, 5 for 6 from 3 in your first game as an NBA
I
head
didn't
coach.
know that. What was that again? 27?
27 points, 8 assists, 5 for 6 from 3 against the Cavs, a 12-point win.
helpful when that happens.
Yeah, he's a good player. Good.
Coach,
Yes.
good memory. Coach Nurse, thank you so much for
Oh,
joining
that's
us.
it?
We're excited
Jeez.
about this season.
Time flies when you're having fun. That was quick.
Glad to hear that
All
you
right.
did. Thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Thanks,
All right.
Coach.